Indiana's Curt Cignetti is confident that his Hoosiers will win at Oregon on Saturday. Dan Lanning is just as confident in his Ducks. It's the game of the year, Indiana and Oregon. Let's talk about it. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Hey, hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And if you could share, like, and follow, that helps us out as well. Plus, did you know you can hype YouTube videos? That's cool. Thanks for doing that. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So the Hoosiers and the Ducks, it's big. We'll call it the Confidence Bowl. These two coaches are very confident. Plus, I have some questions about Luke Fickell's coaching style. I'll have that later, and we'll have our Tuesday tweets. But let's chop it up, man. Saturday's Big Ten matchup between number 7 Indiana and number 3 Oregon at Autzen. It's the game of the year in the conference. Of course, Oregon is already battle-tested, having won the previous game of the year, if you will, 2 weekends ago when they were ranked number 6 on the road. They won at the whiteout game at number 3 Penn State. But after Penn State's loss to the Ducks and then their following loss to UCLA, Penn State is no longer even ranked in the top 25, thus taking some of the shine off of Oregon's credit or resume for that win. Just a little bit. No fault of their own. The schedule is the schedule. So I stand by my statement that this weekend's game, Indiana and Oregon, it is the game of the year of the Big Ten. We've had this circled since this summer. We've been looking forward to it. It'll be the game of the year, at least until the next game of the year, whenever that is. But there's no denying that this thing is huge. It's big. And the winner will have an inside track to getting a spot at the Big Ten championship game as we hit the midway point of the regular season. Kind of feels like to me, I don't know about you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, but it feels like to me that the winner of this game, Saturday, Indiana and Oregon, will eventually play Ohio State for the conference championship in December. Do you agree or disagree with that? Just thought I'd throw that out there for conversation. As of now, this will be the last ranked opponent remaining on the Duck schedule. I mean, they got a tough game at Iowa, hosting USC. I think the first one to score 50 will win that game. There's the season finale at Washington. That could be tricky. It always is. They also have dates with Rutgers, Wisconsin, and Minnesota that should add to Dan Lanning and the Ducks' win total as they make their march toward defending their Big Ten title. Meanwhile, Curt Cignetti's Hoosiers, they already have a top 10 win under their belt when they opened a lot of eyes versus Illinois and beat them 63-10. I mean, that dropped Illinois way back, but they've crept back into the top 25. I think they're sitting at 17 right now. Anyway, that score, though, should concern a lot of people, including Dan Lanning. Indiana is explosive. And Indiana still has a road game at Penn State on their schedule. I don't know what to make of that anymore. I don't know what Penn State is anymore, and I talk about them every week. Maybe the Hoosiers should be more concerned about their home game against UCLA now, which I had chalked up as a future win for them. I don't know. It's crazy in the Big Ten right now. The Hoosiers do have a couple of scrappy but beatable opponents on their schedule. They got Michigan State, they got Maryland, as well as a faltering Wisconsin and Purdue still on the schedule. So as you can see, Saturday's game has a lot riding on it for both of these teams. And it's going to be a matchup of the two most confident coaches in the Big Ten. Would you agree with me on that? I mean, Curt Cignetti famously said, hey, I win, Google me. And he does win. Since taking over Indiana a season and a half ago, he's only lost 2 games to Ohio State and Notre Dame. And both of those teams played for the national championship last year. That's it. It's a clean resume. And believe me, he's looking to go in there. He's saying all the right things. And I honestly believe it when he said this week, he says, look, Dan Lanning is a young coaching phenom. Oregon has it rolling from top to bottom. He threw out all his compliments. I believe he absolutely believes it. And he's got a lot of low-key he's respecting Oregon. Now, deep down inside, he's going, we can win this game at Indiana. We're going to go there and we're going to make a big splash if we pull this off. So that's what he's thinking. He's going in there with confidence. But he does have a lot of respect and a healthy respect for Dan Lanning and Oregon, and he should, because they're pretty good. Dan Lanning is confident too. I'll never forget this. It was about a year and a half ago. It was before they played their first ever Big Ten game. I've talked about this numerous times on this podcast here. You everydayers have heard me talk about it. But he was asked, how is Oregon going to have to adjust to joining the rough and tumble Big Ten? And he famously said, the Big Ten is going to have to adjust to Oregon. I mean, it was brash, cocky, and arrogant. I loved it. And he was right. He was right on the money. To date, they're still undefeated in the Big Ten since joining the conference. So one thing is for sure, this football field at Autzen Stadium on Saturday is going to be loaded with a lot of talent. Both quarterbacks in this game are front runners for the Heisman right now. Indiana's Fernando Mendoza has been nothing short of awesome since leaving Cal for Bloomington. He said he wanted to be developed as a quarterback, and he specifically chose to transfer to Indiana to play for Curt Cignetti. Saw what happened with Curtis Rourke the year before. And Indiana gives him a great line to play behind. He did not have that at Cal. Guy was always running for his life at Cal. That's why most people in the country have never heard of him. Wasn't able to put up spectacular numbers because he was always in scramble mode. Now he's got time to throw the ball, and you can see what he can do. He's got a room full of running backs that they can hand off to. He's got a dynamic duo of wide receivers, and they rival that of the quality of the wide receivers of the Buckeyes. Elijah Sarratt and Omar Cooper Jr. are fantastic weapons to throw to. Meanwhile, the Ducks, quarterback Dante Moore, he's got a great story as well. Started as a freshman at UCLA under Chip Kelly, then left, transferred to Oregon, even though he knew he was going to sit behind Dillon Gabriel, who, as you now know, is starting for the Cleveland Browns. And now, after putting in his time and learning the system and getting comfortable, now's his time to shine. And he is just, his improvement curve is just going straight up at this point. Clearly in the Penn State game, Drew Aller's this most experienced quarterback in the country, and all this hype and expectation. You tell me who the better looking quarterback was in that game, who threw a better ball. It was Dante Moore. It's absolutely Dante Moore. Guy is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun to watch. So, and he's got a bunch of running backs to hand off to, and some nice, young, exciting receivers at his disposal. Good tight end. I mean, Oregon's got it all. So the winner of this game may indeed produce a Heisman Trophy winner. And we'll develop that story along later on this week. I think I'm going to revisit it later on in the week here on Locked On Big Ten. Just focus on both of these quarterbacks in this game. So it'll be up to the defenses to slow these two teams down. Now, IU's corners are great. Their safety, Lewis Moore, he's 24 years old. He just finally won a court case. He's got eligibility now for the rest of the year. And on the Oregon side, let's not forget safety Dillon Thieneman. He was a guy that transferred from Purdue. We told everybody who would listen all spring and all summer. I thought, and you everydayers know this too, I thought Thieneman was the best transfer portal get in the Big Ten, period. Number one. Love the guy at Purdue. Nobody ever knew. A lot of people don't know about him from his days at Purdue. 2 years there. He's an interception machine. He's a tackle machine. And, of course, he ended up getting the game-winning interception in double overtime against Penn State. And now everybody knows who he is across the country. So there's no doubt that this game is big. So big that we are going to go live right after that game here on Locked On Big Ten. We're here every day with multiple podcasts throughout the week. But on weekends, we go live after the big game of the week. There's actually 2 games we're going to go live after this weekend because they're both huge. So we're going to do a doubleheader ourselves live on Saturday. We've done this only once before, but it worked out great. So we're going to do it. When we go live, I get your immediate reaction with your comment section, and I make it part of the show. You get my immediate unfiltered reaction to these games as well. So we're going to go live right after the Indiana-Oregon game. And that's not all. We're then going to break, watch the Michigan USC game, and we're going to go live again after that one. So mark your calendars for that to join us. A doubleheader of live Locked On Big Tens on Saturday. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Make plans to join us, and love to get your reaction to those games as well. Anyway, your comments and your thoughts on Indiana's chances at Oregon. I want to hear from both sides. I want to hear from Indiana. I want to hear from Oregon fans. all of that, hit me up in the comment section. Also, be sure to hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you never miss a single episode because we are here every day. And if you could share, follow, and like, that'd be great. We always appreciate word of mouth. We have a website called talkbig10.com where all of our podcasts go. If you missed yesterday's, go back and check it out. Plus, we have links for you to buy your favorite Big Ten team merchandise. You want some Indiana shirts, an Oregon hat, pennants from your favorite team, all right there at talkbig10.com. All right, I got a serious topic I want to talk. It's always serious, but I got a serious topic I want to talk to you about in just a minute. So I got some more questions, some more thoughts, some more reflection on Luke Fickell and how he coached that Wisconsin game at Michigan this weekend at the end. I didn't like it. A lot of you didn't like it. We're going to talk about that. Plus, we have our Tuesday tweets. All that coming up in 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. So don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is a lot of fun. It's a simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more than or less than on player projections, like Josh Allen's passing yards over 250 combined with Saquon Barkley more than 80 yards and a touchdown. Combine those in a game and then collect your winnings when you're right. It is an absolute blast. You could show off with your friends and select whatever you want. Group those players. You can group up to like 6 players, 2 players. It's super easy. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten. We're here for you every single day. Tell your friends about us here. And if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be great. Don't forget our website, talkbig10.com as well. All right, as promised, I want to revisit for a minute Wisconsin's 24-10 loss at Michigan. There are some that think that Luke Fickell quit on his team, didn't coach right. And I will go ahead and talk about this, how they handled things at the end of the game. So the Badgers, they kicked a field goal to draw within 24-10 with 2:43 to go in Ann Arbor. And it was their first score since an impressive opening drive where they scored a touchdown. They took a 7-0 lead. And quarterback Hunter Simmons making his first start, right? Billy Edwards has been hurt. Danny O'Neal has been benched. Over the years, quarterback has been a problem for Luke Fickell. I mean, Tanner Mordecai didn't work out. Tyler Van Dyke got injured. Braden Locke was not that accurate. It's been a constant problem. So, at this point of the game, it was a wrap. This was the final score at that point after field goal, 24-10. And it seemed like Michigan was content to burn some clock, wrap this up, go home with a win. But Fickell and the Badgers, they had all 3 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute break coming up as well. And he didn't use them. He kept them in his back pockets. He didn't burn any timeouts. Get Michigan to go 3 and out. You can score an onside kick and anything can happen. And look, it looked unlikely. It's a big mountain to climb, but that's how we play football, right? You never quit. You keep going, hoping for the miracle play, but put yourself in a position to have a miracle play. And at this point, Michigan ran for 4 yards and like 2:40 to go, no timeout by Fickell. So Michigan let the clock run and run and run. 43 seconds, burn off the clock, got to the 2-minute timeout. It's unbelievable. And then after the 2-minute work stoppage there, Michigan ran another 4 yards. No timeout from Fickell. On third down, Jordan Marshall ran for 7 yards and a first down, which was the backbreaker. And Fickell still had all 3 timeouts in his back pocket. Now, after the game, he was asked about this, and he said he would have used his timeouts had they stopped him on third down. I mean, think about all that time that burnt. I mean, if you're down 1 score, I don't know if that was an acceptable answer, but letting it get down inside 2 minutes into a minute, you can always do something with timeouts. But you're down by 2 scores. You needed all that time on the other side of the 2-minute timeout. I don't get it. I absolutely don't get this move. And in the post game, he also mentioned how tired his team was. Well, okay, so what? Call timeouts, use a 2-minute break, get rested up for the final run. At the very least, even if you can't win the ball game, you've been bouncing around with all these quarterbacks, and you need experience, and you need to improve. How about working on running the 2-minute drill? Maybe it'll pay benefit for you on these other tough games you got coming up. So, you get your third starting quarterback of the year. We're only halfway through the season. Let's get it figured out. Let's practice a little bit. And who knows? Maybe you have a chance to win. Fickle is now 15-16 in his tenure there in just over 2 years. These losses are piling up. They got a game at Iowa. That's tough. Or against Iowa. That's tough. They got number 1 Ohio State coming. We know how that's going to go. They're at number 3 Oregon. We know how that's going to go. Washington at number 7 Indiana. Number 17 Illinois. Then you close out at Minnesota. That game might be a fight. But man, that's tough. I don't get it, and I don't like it. Wisconsin fan, I want to hear from you on that deal. I honestly, I think Fickle's a good coach. I do. He got put into a bad situation, and he made a mistake early on. Again, trying to switch that offense immediately from the ground and pound to some air raid with Phil Longo. That was a mistake because they had too much talent oriented toward running the ball on the team. And look, he's good. He's got ties to Ohio State. He did really well at Cincinnati, really well. And so that's why I think he's a good coach. But he ignored what he had when he arrived. And at this point, it seems too late to get the ship turned around here in year 3. I would love to hear from Badger fans. You guys are quiet. I don't get to hear too much from you compared to some of the other schools. Let's hear it. Let's bring it. What are we doing there? Meanwhile, some more repercussions from UCLA's win over Penn State this weekend. Interim coach Tim Skipper, and he's running the show now. Seems like a really, really likable guy. Jerry Neuheisel calling the plays, and they win 42-37 over Penn State. Neuheisel just got installed as the play caller on Thursday. Had 2 days of practice. In fact, did you see he was calling plays, and Nico couldn't hear him because he had the microphone up. He wasn't used to calling plays and communicating directly with players like that. And sometimes Nico had to run his own plays. But it worked. It was great. It is one of the biggest wins, maybe the biggest regular season win ever there. So Jerry Neuheisel, son of Rick Neuheisel, he was asked to rank this win. He said it was up there. And he says he loves UCLA more than anything. And he loves the kind of kids that play at UCLA. And after, 2 days of practice and making the switch, they all believed in him. They were all in, is what he said. And he said the team played as hard as it could for 60 minutes. So how can you not love football with days like that? That's what he said. So the enthusiasm was, you see the fans, the players carried him off. That was pretty awesome. And one other fact I want to throw at you here about Ohio State. So they had their 42-3 win over Minnesota on Saturday. And Ryan Day's winning percentage has now climbed to 88.2%. That's better than Notre Dame's Newt Rockne for the all-time highest winning percentage in college football history. Now, on a technicality, Newt Rockne still has the record because you got to coach for at least 10 years to have this mark count. So it's still Newt's record, but technically right now, in a few less years, Ryan Day has the highest winning percentage of all coaches in the history of college football. He joked after the game, the press conference, somebody asked him about it. He says, yep, it's time to hang it up. Never going to coach again. Remember, there's a lot of you. We got some receipts in the comment section that wanted Ryan Day fired after another loss to Michigan. He's got the highest winning percentage, and now he has a natty. Pretty impressive. Of course, he's been there since, 2019, and he's going to be there a lot longer. All right, if you're new, we always close out with some really fun features that you don't want to miss. So Mondays, we do our Big Ten Top 10 observations from the weekend. If you want to go back and check them out, we did them on yesterday's podcast. You want to go back for a second listen. Tuesdays, we do Tuesday tweets from X. Check us out at Talk Big Ten. If your tweets are there and they're good, I'll put them on the show. We're going to take a look at those next. Tomorrow, we'll power rank the Big Ten from 1 through 18. What are we going to do with UCLA? They've been at the bottom. How high up do they go? Penn State, how low do they go? That's on tomorrow's Locked On Big Ten podcast. So check that out. Thursdays, we take a look at the Big Ten Network, and we look at their weekend programming with their live games and the Big Ten Classics. We always like to highlight that. And the Fridays, we're not afraid. We're bold. We're fearless. We go on the record with our pigskin picks. So we always have a fun feature like that. Coming up next, it's Tuesday Tweets. We'll share with you some good ones out there. That's coming up next here on Locked On Big Ten. Hey, I know it's exciting watching these games, and your friends are going, hey, man, we should go to a game. College football. Let's do it. Let's go to the game. Who's got to buy the ticket? All right, you buy the tickets. All right, now I got a job to do. Now it's stressful, right? No. Download the Game Time app, and you can get tickets and put that battle behind it. This is easy breezy. You don't have to deal with long lines, hidden fees, prices jumping up at checkout. Nope. That's why we use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. And what you see is what you pay. It's just a couple of taps on the app or your phone. You got the tickets. Did you know you can get to a college football game for as low as $25? With Game Time, it's all that easy. And views from the seat of the ticket you're about to buy. That way you'll find out how great your seats are before you even buy them. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. So Square runs a lot of businesses, all the ones in your local neighborhood. This episode is brought to you by Square. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood, right? All comfortable. Places that know your name when you walk in the door, have your name on your coffee as you get it, the deli, restaurant, all that stuff. Chances are these places in your neighborhood are run on Square. So the businesses that are in your neighborhood, bringing people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. So check it out with Square and be part of the community. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You could go to square.com/go/LockedOnCollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite local neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square. See you in the neighborhood. Thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten. All right, let's do Tuesday Tweets and have a little fun. I always enjoy this. So I'll put it on screen. If you're audio only on Spotify or Apple, that's cool. We'll describe in detail what we got going on here. Here's a graphic, again, from last week when the Game Time was announced with Indiana football. It's from CBS Sports College Football. We're coming to Autzen Stadium for a big-time top 10 showdown. And it says here, number 8, Indiana football travels to Eugene to take on number 2, Oregon. That is Saturday, October 11th, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. And a picture of Curt Cignetti and Dan Lanning with Indiana and Oregon in the logo. And we will go live after that game. Join us for a live edition of Locked On Big Ten. We'll also go live after the Michigan USC game as well. Here's more. This is from Dave U. Dave, Dan the man with the master plan, been cooking since he landed in Eugene. Picture of Dan Lanning with the headsets on. The Oregon Ducks, it says underneath from this retweet, are 30-3 since the beginning of the 2023 season. That's the best winning percentage in college football in that span. The Oregon Ducks, who just won the whiteout game in Happy Valley, now own 9 straight road wins, and that's the longest active road winning streak in college football. All right. Here is from Fox College Football. Only 15 undefeated teams remain, and it lists all their logos. And let's see here. We got Indiana, we got Oregon, and also we have Ohio State. So 3 Big Ten teams undefeated in this mix. Some other schools in there that are interesting: A&M, Miami, Georgia Tech, Texas Tech, Oklahoma. A lot of good ones in there as well. Let's see. This is at ESPN College Football. Week 7 AP poll is here. Who was the most surprising team on here? By the way, Ohio State 1, Miami 2. Got Oregon at 3. Ole Miss and Texas A&M rounding out the top 5. Oklahoma 6. There's Indiana at 7, ahead of Alabama at 8, rounded out by Texas Tech and Georgia. They're all starting to work each other out. And of course, Penn State no longer on that list. Here's from at the Buckeye Nut. It's a picture of PJ Fleck looking up. PJ Fleck on Ohio State after having played them on Saturday night and only scoring 3 points. He says, that's the best defense I've seen in 13 years. That's what we've been trying to say here. We've been trying to make the point for the past couple of weeks that this year's Matt Patricia defense is even better than last year's, which was elite at Ohio State, the one that won the national championship under Jim Knowles. Now Matt Patricia has it rolling. Here is from at Ohio State football. This is, that's our coach. It's a picture of Jim Tressel and Ryan Day. Ryan Day climbing the legendary ranks. Ryan Day makes history. We told you about his winning percentage a moment ago. Fastest Big Ten coach all time to reach 75 wins. Did it in 85 games. And the previous record was 91 games by Jim Tressel. I'm sure Urban Meyer was somewhere on that list as well. Here's from Dave Portnoy talking, he loves Jim Harbaugh. He's a Michigan guy. It's a picture of Harbaugh, the coach of the Chargers, wearing a very sparkly hat with the Chargers logo. And he says no hat has ever been less a fit for a man than this one on Harbaugh. And Harbaugh, all of a sudden, after a quick 3-0 starts, lost his last couple games, struggling out there. This is from the 1796. It is a picture of Jerry Neuheisel, who came in and did all the play calling for UCLA in their big upset win over Penn State. And it says this guy has been in charge of offense for like 2 days, and he just hung 42 points on the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country. And Jim Knowles of Penn State, very impressive. Yes, it is. He looks right out of Central Casting with the long flowing blonde hair right out of Southern California. Looks like he should be in a Beach Boys song video or something. But yeah, what a great job he did this weekend. Here's at Woody's World, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate through 5 games. A picture of both of them, by the way, on the field. 59 combined receptions, 915 yards, 11 touchdowns, and the best wide receiver duo in the country. And here is Steve Sarkisian and James Franklin side by side. This is from at Hayes Fawcett. The preseason number 1 and number 2 teams are both unranked in week 7. That's college football. Yep. That's exactly what happened. Here's an overhead shot of Ann Arbor on game day. They had a maze out. This is from at Christopher Breiler. Michigan fans nailed the maze out on Saturday. It did look very nice on a beautiful, warm, sunny day. And the yellow, it was great. Meanwhile, here is from at Arrogant Nation. That's USC. Picture of them at the Coliseum. It says, beat the Wolverines. It's Michigan week. Fight on. Yes, we will preview that game on tomorrow's podcast. And again, that'll be one of the 2 games we go live after. We'll go live after Indiana at Oregon. We'll go live again here after Michigan at USC here on Locked On Big Ten. All right, send me some tweets. I'll get them on next Tuesday's show as well. Always love hearing from you guys on that. In the meantime, in addition to our live shows on Saturday, we're here every day with multiple podcasts, all 18 Big Ten teams with news, analysis of that news, and opinion of that news right here. Many ways for you to interact with this podcast. Don't forget Twitter at Talk Big Ten, our website, talkbig1010.com, where all of our podcasts go, plus links to buy your favorite merchandise for, hey, Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. Whatever you do, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And then you and me, we're in the same Big Ten club forever with that. And if you could share, follow, and like as well, we always appreciate that. Go back and check out a second listen of our podcast. And also remember our friends at Locked On and Fire TV have the College Football Kickoff Show, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leading the conversation, along with 2-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, and former college star Jesse Holley is there as well. And then our local Locked On experts come together and preview all the games. So catch the College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. That'll do it for us. As I said, we're going to look at Michigan and USC a little closer tomorrow, plus we'll power rank 1 through 18. We'll see where your team is on there at the time. Thanks for joining us. Tell a friend about us, because if you're a Big Ten fan, I know you know other Big Ten people. Let them know we're out here every single day. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Sheeman. We'll see you tomorrow.